Alright, it says I'm live, but I'm gonna go ahead and babble until YouTube goes live. Because I don't know how much of a delay there is, if one at all. And if anybody watches, let me know if the background noise is too loud. I have dust collection on. But hopefully my mouth is close enough to the mic that we don't have to worry about that. And now it just went live on YouTube. So I may have been babbling quite a bit before it even went live. I have no idea. But I am Charles Deering. It is 2:45 a.m. Friday morning, and I'm wide awake, so I figured why the heck not. Now I know I talked on Facebook in a bunch of groups about doing lessons in the beginning of each live stream, but that'll mainly be for normal hours. I'll still give advice as I scroll, as far as dedicating the beginning segment to teaching back to the basics. That'll be for normal hour U.S. time. But y'all let me know if the background noise is too loud. It's the first time I've done a live stream with dust collection on. It's somewhat loud to me, but with my mouth being close to the mic, y'all should be able to hear me over it. But y'all let me know. Right now it says I have no viewers, so that's a good start. I wasn't expecting much, if any, at this hour, but I'm awake and feeling better than I have been. So by God, let's. For those that don't know, I just recently had surgery, and it's very painful. And but I'm feeling human now, so here we are. I know at least two people are awake that I saw earlier, but they have lives as well, and we all have erratic sleep schedules. But y'all let me know if you can hear me, and I'm just gonna keep babbling until people show up. Uh, it says I have one viewer. Please let me know in the comment if you can hear me over the background noise. I have a dust collection deal going on, which is what this hose is right here. It's kind of a weird setup, but hello, Jerry. That is Living Beyond Disability. Y'all check that channel out. Watch the journey. Watch. I don't want to tell you too much, not because it's secretive, but because you got to watch the channel to know what it's about. Just saying. Jerry, can you hear me over the dust collection easily, or do I need to yell, or should I just turn off the dust collection? Because that dust collection is working to keep all that fine dust off the dang floor. But if it's too loud for people to hear me over it, then I'll forego it. Okay, hearing me in the hurricane just fine. Yeah, y'all check out. Thank you, Jerry. Y'all check out Living Beyond Disability. It's not your typical Scroll Saw channel. It's somebody overcoming, and I'll just let his channel speak for itself. And then if you like what you see, subscribe, by God. And if you're watching this channel and have not subscribed, please do so. If you like what you see, and click on the bell, click on the word all, and you won't miss anything. Just to start out, this is a Hagner Scroll Saw. This is not the table that comes with it. It's a 22-inch Hagner. It's made in Germany but sold out of Delaware. I have this table over it because the table that comes with it, at least for what I do, is way too small. It's only about this big. This about, if I want to say 9 by 17, somewhere in there. But this is a very rickety frame around it, or over it, with a piece of Lexan with the back painted black, and the top sanded so that the light doesn't reflect off of it. It just kind of lights everything up. So there's that. I will get the camera closer here shortly. And no offense to that one viewer, but while there's just one viewer, I'll just, talk a little bit, and then we'll get to scrolling again. This piece is approximately 4 feet. Well, you can't see the whole thing because I got a light in the way, but it's about 4 feet tall, and I don't remember how wide. But I do happen to have a tape measure here, so let's find out. Right about 2 feet by 4 feet. Okay. Thank you for telling me that, Jerry. I don't know why it would be doing that, because usually it's internet traffic that makes the camera go crappy. So hopefully it'll clear up. Usually what I'll do is unplug the camera and then replug it in, but I don't know why I'd be getting a crappy camera at this time of night. It might be because I'm zoomed so far out. I have no idea. Hopefully it'll balance out. Yeah, this is the first time I've done a live stream this early, I believe, and the first time I've done one with dust collection on. So that's been a long process coming, but there's that. Thank you for taking the time out to watch, Jerry. Uh, yeah, so there's that. Let me get this crap out of my way. Like I said, a 22-inch Hagner. I use mainly number 5s and number 3 spirals by Flying Dutchman. I buy them from Wooden Teddy Bear. I am not sponsored by them, and I don't have to be in order to tell you good products and good companies. I'm not one of these people that only talks about products and companies if I'm being paid by them. I think that's silly. That's just me. But yeah, I buy this from Wooden Teddy Bear. These happen to be number 3, but they're number 5s is what I'm using. If I can get that to clear up. But yeah, they're Flying Dutchman brand. That's what they call them when they came to the North America. It's actually Nequa. So if you hear about Nequa blades, they're the exact same blades. It's just a different name. So there's that. I only use spirals. The wood I'm using, I am stack cutting 2 pieces of maple ply. About quarter. It's advertised as quarter-inch. It's more like 3/16. And I have brad nails holding the stacks together. So if you see these random dots out here, not all of them are pilot holes. And this is the capacity of the saw, 22 inches. This was done at an angle, so it's slightly higher than that one. But so when I get done cutting all that out, I have to come around and finish that last couple inches. What else? Talked about the blades, the wood, and the saw. And by God, yeah. So once we start doing normal time, U.S. Once we start doing normal daytime, evening time, whatever U.S. time, live streams is when the Back to the Basic scrolling will start, and that'll be the beginning segment of each live stream. And then we'll go right into normal scrolling. But I always try to answer questions. I can't always think of what beginners will want to know unless I pre-plan. So if y'all watch live streams all the time, you'll see me repeat things that I've said in the past. But that's because you never know who's watching, and it might be a beginner. And all beginners are welcome. We don't have the cool crowd and this and that. Everybody's equal in these live streams. It's not a who's who of scrolling, and that includes the panel and people watching. I'm not a celebrity compared to y'all. I mean, we're all equal here. Anywho, let me take a couple swigs of Dr. Pepper and we'll get going. I don't like dead air, but being that it is 2:53 a.m., I may not talk a whole lot, but unless I'm trying to teach. And I forgot to put the link to this design in the description, but if you look at one of the past live streams that has the Leopard in it, it should have the link to the pattern in the description. All right, let's start scrolling over here. And away we go, by golly. I usually babble for 18 minutes before I get going, but I think we've broken that. I do try to make these live streams family friendly. For a while there when I first started, it was all kinds off the rails, and I love to have fun, but I want people to be able to know that they can come to this channel and not have to hide their kids. And I've met a lot of people or talked to a lot of people that say, yeah, I've watched a lot of your live streams, but they never commented out in the comments. It's never a requirement, but, don't be shy. Take the time to say something out in the comments. I won't be upset. A lot of people sometimes, either just out of support, will just listen to the show while they're doing something else, and especially a lot of my friends, because we're always all doing our own thing. I'm not good at multitasking myself. Squirrel. Yeah, so there's that. There's a couple spots in this. So if you watch the typical live stream where the chat is active, there's a live chat going on if you're just listening. We always try to read the comments. That way, anybody just listening and not watching can know what's going on. And uh, if you wonder why are you reading all the comments, well, that's why. So you'll know exactly what's happening even if you're not visually watching the live stream. My website is woodenvisions.com. Over 2,000 scroll saw patterns. Most of them are advanced, but it's not because I don't care about beginners. It's because I get bored making what I call simple patterns, and that's on me. I am a little biased. I had surgery October 20, not October. What the hell? Maybe it was October. I don't even know what the hell month it is. I just totally went blank. Yeah, it's November now. So yeah, it was October 25th. It was October 25th. I'm just now feeling human enough that I can show my face, so to speak, publicly. It wasn't a dangerous surgery, just a painful recovery thing. And Jerry's doing his own thing. I'm talking to him. Say, hell, I talk to myself all the time. And again, when you hear me say the name Jerry, that is Jerry Blakeslee of Living Beyond Disability. That is the website and a YouTube channel and even a Facebook page. So y'all check that out. I am sponsored by Hardnail Media. That's hardnailmedia.com. He does my website along with a lot of other people's websites. Very affordable, very good communicator. Generally awake between 8 a.m. and midnight. He's not just a 9 to 5er. Very competitive pricing, or affordable pricing. Not a lot of people can meet his pricing. So yeah, I'll check him out. Harnealmedia.com. That is HARNEAL media, MEDIA.com. Here he says, I talk to myself, but this requires me typing to myself, entire new level of nuts. Yeah, I can relate. I've been known to do it. If I can find the next pilot hole, we'll be scrolling right along. And I think I'm way over in an area I've already cut. Yep. Now, I haven't determined yet if the dust collection is getting these chips, except for the one I just cut. I heard it hit the bag at the other end of my shop, so that means that one went through. But I mainly did it for the fine dust because that just gets everywhere, and I go through a lot of window units. I don't know what y'all call those in other countries, but it's an air conditioning thing that goes in the window. We call them window units here. But I went through a lot of them because that fine dust just clogs things up, and if you don't keep up with it, it'll be the death of you, or your window unit anyway. And as far as realism goes, that's what I strive for. But one thing you may notice, at least in my designs, is all. You, okay, I'm trying to think of how to word this. You will never see, unless it's a real generic pattern, you'll never see just perfectly smooth edges on the spots I do, because when I do them jagged, it's to at least suggest the direction of the hair that it's going, and that helps the 3D aspect of it. I'm trying to think of how else to word that. Because you'll notice the jagged lines are kind of going like this. It's the direction that the hairs are going on each area, and that helps add to the realism, in my opinion. And because you'll find very few lines in what I'm doing, uh, like th- I'm explaining this great so far. It's kind of low right here, but the ears, the spots are longer and closer together. It's because they're going around shadows of the ear. It'd be easy for me to add all the shadows in there, but I prefer to do the spots and let that do the explaining of what shape is what. And you'll notice on the whiskers here, you don't see a whole lot of actual lines being drawn as whiskers. It's where the whisker goes across the spot, and where's the one I just saw in the camera when I was pointing? Right here. That's an example of a whisker going through a spot uh, there, and then that's kind of a negative of it, and then you'll see the actual whiskers here. So your eye kind of finishes the picture. So I hope that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense in my head, but sometimes coming out of my mouth, it doesn't quite get there. But we'll figure it out. I love realism. I try to get as close as I can, but you can only do it as good as the photograph is. But I'm going to take me a quick swig and we'll get going. And for me, animals are a fun theme to do for patterns. As far as my favorite themes in general, would be probably wildcats, wolves, and Native American and Western. But I tend to be a little biased when I pick projects to do, because if the theme bores me, I'm not likely to do it unless I think the audience will like it. But now, detail projects aren't for everybody, but that's mainly because most people don't want to spend hours on a single project. But I do. A lot of times I'll cuss at myself during a project saying, why the heck did you have to make it so detailed? But then when you're done, that sense of pride is there, and by golly, it was all worth it. But I'm able to do these large pieces like this because I use spiral blades. With a flat blade, the teeth are on the front, and you're limited to, you know, the area that lets you move. You have to steer it like this, but on a spiral, you can steer like this because it cuts in every direction. It's like a flat blade, but it's twisted. So the teeth are literally on all sides. And it always cuts on the downstroke because the teeth are aimed down. It feels like it's been a while since I was live. And I say it almost every time I go live that I used to do this stuff daily and sometimes more than once a day, but here I am weeks and months apart sometimes. But I'm trying to pick it back up. Oh, golly. And I'm getting a short in the switch because it doesn't want to turn on. And that's just one of them. There we go. That scared me. Between the sound and the visual, I might need to check my tension. It might be slightly loose. Oh, so I'm going to reach in front of the camera. Yep, it was definitely loose. All right, so we fixed that. And one thing that helps me reduce my mess is having a trash can within throwing distance of where I'm sitting, because that made too much sense to do that before. So if I can help it, I have a trash can right there. Dust collection is down. See my exciting pants. There's the dust collection that I can't get the camera low enough, I don't think, to show you how I have it for the saw. Jerry says I'm going to lay down an hour or two so I can get back to my mess before my show tomorrow, 10/4. Again, y'all check out Jerry's channel, Living Beyond Disability. See what he's doing. Thank you for dropping by, Jerry. And by God, I'll just sit here and talk to myself. That's all right. That won't be a change of anything else I usually do, but appreciate you dropping by, sir. He does his show every Friday and Saturday if he's able. Friday is a little more structured than Saturday. Sometimes Saturdays are just, hey, watch what I'm doing while we all sit and talk. But not always, just, he can tell you more than I can. Just watch his channel, by God. But I'm used to talking to myself anyways. It's not always out loud. But since I'm live, I hate dead air, so I may babble the hell out of this. And if I go like 30 minutes to an hour and nobody's watching, then I may turn it off. But that's not because I'm a whiner. It's a little more entertaining for me when there's at least one or two people watching. But rest assured, I will, especially on weekends, I try to go live if my health allows it, or mental capacity. I am in the Central Time Zone, or whoever that matters for. Matters to, whatever, I can't think of the word. Because there was a time I wouldn't do a live at this strange hour because, I'm thinking, well, nobody's going to watch anyways, and that's not a pouting, it's a fact, at least in the U.S. Like right now, it's 3:08 a.m., and nobody's watching, and I'm not complaining, but that's why I'm usually listening to either talk radio or music, and it makes the time go by. Because if you sit there and pay attention to every cut you're doing, beyond, doing it correctly, you can be bored out of your mind. Just saying. And you may peek into this live stream and say, I can't believe this guy's talking. Ain't nobody here. Well, by God, Would you rather have dead silence? Well, if you're into that, you ain't gonna find it on this channel. Just saying. These live streams never have a set length. They're never stop right at an hour or anything like that. And I've been known to go just under 12 hours. I think that's the longest I've ever gone. Last live stream before this one was about 5 hours, I believe. Hell, I've slept since then, so I don't remember. So I'll see how long I can keep this up. Because I'm kind of a busybody. Once I'm able to do things, I'll start something, then I'll get bored and start doing other things. I'm trying to make my shop. I was cleaning it. Now I gotta unclutter it. You know, it's one of those things, you're getting the dust off of everything, and then you got to figure out where everything's going to go because you have to move everything to get the dust off of everything. Oh, that's fun. The one thing I love organizing. You can't tell it from my shop right now, but like one example, just a bunch of magnet bars. I got them off Amazon. I love these things. They're 18 inches wide, but it helps organize. Now, that may not be a setup some people would use, but I love that. I don't think you could have too many of those. And this is my most recent acquirement. Acquirement. My most the thing I most recently acquired was this. So there's that, and that's the wood I use. That's the backside of one you're seeing. And a workbench over here where a whole lot of most of my horizontal surfaces in my shop are catch-alls right now because I'm cleaning and organizing. It'll never be pristine, but yeah, that's that. And as far as production quality, whatever you want to call it, these are called ring lights. I got those on Amazon as well, and that's how you get such bright, whatchamacallit. I got two of those. There's one there and one there. And there's a TV for me to keep up with y'all's comments and questions because my eyesight's terrible. That's where I used to have a window unit. Now it's beside the TV. But that one, because of the thickness of the wall, the window unit kept leaking into the wall, and that sucked. But we're back to the scrolling. I also have a light up above. I don't think a shop can be too bright unless you just can't see nothing. And I'm hoping to paint the outside of my shop just for something to do. I like having projects that I don't do all the time. Painting is not always fun, but it's neat when you're done. It's kind of like detailed projects. But anyway, if I could have chosen and would have had the money, I probably would have painted the inside of this shop white, just to add to brightness to it. But they're all just OSB walls right now. But anywho, worst problems to have. I'm going to take another drink. We're going to start scrolling again, by golly. Oh, that's some good stuff right there. And like I said, this weird hour, you could have one person from Zimbabwe, one person from Egypt, one person from Afghanistan, by God, and you just never know where somebody's going to be at any particular time. And anytime, anybody's welcome here. So that Afghanistan was kind of a little attempted humor here, so bear with me. We've got viewers from Australia. We've had viewers from those other places I mentioned. It's one thing I love about the internet is people from all over the world can get in the same place at the same time and talk. That's pretty nifty. If nothing else, that's one good thing about the internet. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah. All right. Even if you're the only one watching, or if you're seeing this 3 months down the road, if you have a question, please ask, because I don't always think of something a beginner would want to know. Sometimes I take for granted what people know and what they don't, but I try to teach as I go. But it's easier when it's an active live stream, but right now it's just me trying to keep you entertained for whenever you're watching this. Now, during daylight hours, There might be a few people saying, well, good Lord, you finally went live and I missed it because I was sleeping. But, well, normal people are sleeping right now, but I've never been accused of that. Some of my closest friends keep strange hours. I don't know if that's why we're closest friends, but there's Jerry, Russ, and Herb. Definitely keep strange hours, and they're three of my closest friends. I have other close friends that are not retired or in a situation where they can't work, but I don't guess you need my whole life story, but by God, I'll talk about pretty much anything. So let's get back to the scrolling while I talk. And if you've never seen these live streams before, I used to do project videos, but admittedly, to me, that's just too much work. But I think the main reason, matter of fact, I'm almost positive the main reason that I do live streams versus project videos is I like the real-time interaction. That being said, I don't usually do them at such a strange hour for U.S. Central Time, but it seems more personal when you can interact in real time. Says I got 2 viewers. Y'all take it. You don't have to be a popular person or an introvert or extrovert. Take the time to say howdy to me. If you have any questions, please don't hold back. That's how we learn. And I don't necessarily have to be going as slow as I am. I'm just trying to stay true to the lines, but especially on something like a Leopard. If you go off the line on a spot, it's okay. It's a hello, Chris Spinning Wood Dodger. Jerry is no longer here. Here's Lee Knighton. Hello, sir. You'll check out his channel as well as Chris. Appreciate y'all taking the time. Lee, I didn't know you kept hours like this unless you're about to go to work or something. Now, I didn't get out of bed until about midnight. Laid down around 8 p.m. If I had to live on a set schedule, I'd be screwed. And again, if you're just joining, this pattern is available at woodenvisions.com. I usually put it in the description, but I forgot. Just look up leopard and grass, and that should find it at woodenvisions.com. Or sponsored by honeymedia.com. That's my commercial voice. Oh, he's at work. Thank you, Lee. Says nice leopard. What are you doing now, Lee? I mean, last I saw, I believe you were doing security, but I could be wrong. I've slept since then. For those that don't know, I'm technically disabled. I have panic disorder. I can't keep a normal job. And he says .com. I don't know what that means. I guess he tried to put in a link, but yeah. Okay, he's still doing security. It says we have 3 people watching. Take the time to talk to me. Appreciate you dropping by. Yeah, you'll definitely get strange hours working security. My brother used to do that before he had to get on disability. It can get lonely, depending on where you're at. I really don't have a certain order I cut in. I always start with the eyes, if it's an animal or a person or anything with a face. Other than that, I generally just move around. I'll start working in one area and just suddenly move to another, but a lot of times I will, move around to cut big areas just to reduce the weight, because I do billboard-sized pieces. Oh, that was a peanut reference from Jeff Dunham. That's why he said .com. Anyway, there. Now, a lot of people, if you're hearing advice or teaching, they'll say, cut all your little areas out first and then cut the big ones. But I'm a rebel, so I'll cut some of the big ones out just to make it look like I've done more. It's a psychological thing. But one thing to take in mind is no matter what area you're cutting, if you're nervous and you think it's going to get real fragile or brittle, you can put your fingers right there next to that blade to stabilize the piece. It will not hurt you unless you just hold your finger up against that blade. I feel like I've been cleaning my shop for 3 weeks. I mean, after the surgery, uh, it definitely limited me, but I get more done sitting down, because almost the only relief I get from the pain is laying down or sitting down. Without getting too graphic, it's gravity and just the biology in general. Standing up is not good for the pain. But I spend a lot of time sitting on the floor reaching for stuff and dusting it off and vacuuming it off and organizing what I could, and then I'd slide around and do something else. But every now and then you just got to stand up and deal with the pain. By God. So I'd last maybe 2 or 3 hours and then had to go back to bed, because that was the only time I could get relief was to lay down. By God. But I'm not dying or anything. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. All right, Lee is going back to work. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you dropping by. Chris says, I can see the orientation of it now. Looks cool. Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is the top right here. I probably should have mentioned that. This piece is almost exactly 2 feet wide by 4 feet tall. So it's a little bit tall. And yes, y'all will notice I tend to do very large pieces. And I don't know why. I think it's just more entertaining, more of a challenge, and you can get more money for it if you're good at selling, which I have not figured that part out. But it's fun to do. By golly. Biggest piece I've ever done was 8 feet wide, and that was a hoot. And that was on one of these live streams. It was a herd of horses going through water. I still have it. I don't know. I'd probably drop my camera trying to show you, but just search my channel. You should find it. And like I said, I don't really cut in a certain order, but I am trying to work this way. That way, there's no set way I do these projects, but as far as where my mind is going right now, I'm going to work that way and then work down. And if you're just joining, this right here is the limitations of the saw. The capacity of the saw is 22 inches, and the piece is 24 inches wide, so that's why we have this. So I'm going to have to turn the piece around at some point to cut this. But because I cut large pieces, is why there's this piece of plexiglass painted black on the underside, is so I can hold these large pieces like this. So there's that. Let me Get the camera to stay still, and we'll get going again, by golly. And if I wasn't live right now, I'd be either listening to Coast AM on iHeartRadio or 80s Country. Oh, you just never know, by God. I don't expect the viewership to pick up too much, but I'll do this as long as I can stand talking to myself. And then, being that it's the weekend now, well, that's what I call Fridays and Saturdays. But I may try to go live again this weekend. The odds are better on weekends because you get a bigger audience, but also it just seems to work out that way because either stuff to do or not. But I'm still working on my shop. Yeah, that's some good stuff. We're gonna start scrolling again. If y'all don't mind, by God. If you're seeing this channel for the first time, if you're not subscribed already, I hope you'll consider it. If you like what you see, slap that thumbs up, tell your friends about it. Click on subscribe, click on the bell, click on the word all. You'll never miss these exciting live streams unless they're at 3 in the morning. Which is very rare for me to go live at this kind of hour. But never say never, because here we are. I will try to go for at least an hour. Most live streams last longer than that, but you know, when you're alone, it's a little harder to stick with it. Plus, I could get 50 of these spots done, and you wouldn't feel like you've missed much on the next live stream because, you know, 50 spots is 50 spots. You know, I'd say I'll try to go at least an hour, but I'm thinking while I'm sitting here, I might as well get to working on the shop and crap and just shoot for better hours when I go to do live streams. But I do have 2 people watching, so I'll try to keep at it for a little bit. And I knew I wasn't going to be inundated with viewers at this hour, but admittedly, it is a little more fun for me when there's interaction back and forth, which is not a requirement, but yeah. I may start winding down this particular live stream. Most times they last much longer than this, but I'm sure the average person understands. Now I got 3 people watching. It's going to be harder to leave, so I'll just stick around for now. If you're one of these people who says, "Yeah, I've watched you before," well, my God, talk to me too. I'm just saying. Now, some of those people didn't catch me actually being live. They just watched the recorded version, but still cool to find out somebody checked out your stuff. But if I can remember to, I will put the link to this pattern in the description. I forgot to do it before the live stream. But I believe it's called Leopard and Grass. if you want to search for it at woodenvisions.com. Every pattern page has a search bar. And good old buddy David Jones has joined us. Says, what in Blue Blade and Sam hell is going on in here with all that noise at 4:30 in the morning? Good morning, Charles. Hello, David Jones. It's 3:29 a.m. here, Chris. And I'm almost never live at this hour, but here we are. I figured, what the hell, I'm wide awake and we haven't done the live stream in a while. I'm in the central time zone in the U.S. I don't know where everybody else is. I think David is in Georgia, but I could be wrong, and I might be killed for saying that. I have no idea. Chris is in the UK. I believe that's 6 hours ahead of me. I do have neighbors, Chris, but they're not right up on me, and also Scroll Saw is pretty quiet. Yeah, I believe the UK is 6 hours ahead. I believe Australia is about 13 hours ahead. I've slept since then, so I don't remember. Okay, so maybe the part where he's in is 5 hours ahead if I'm doing my math right, but I'm on the fly, so I have no idea. Yeah, David Jones was around when I was doing daily live streams, sometimes more than one a day, and then I just went to like every couple of weeks, and I don't know what the deal is. Okay, they just did daylight savings and just set their clocks back an hour. I think we're supposed to do that sometime this weekend in the U.S. Okay, apparently the saw stopped on a downstroke. There we go, because I was having trouble getting my hand in there. Yeah, we talked about how many live streams I'd be up to if I was doing them daily or whatever, and then depression got in the way, life got in the way, and then boom, bippy, here we are. But I don't think 274 live streams is slacking. And if you didn't hear before, I prefer to do live streams because it's real-time interaction if there's anybody watching, which usually a lot of people watching. Yeah, it is, David. Inside story, folks. All right, David says he's going back to bed. Have a great day, all. Thank you for dropping by, David. I may not be here too much longer myself, but we'll see what we can work out. Thank you for dropping by, sir. I may go ahead and end this here since we're only averaging 2 viewers. That's not a tantrum or a complaint. It's just I could be multitasking and getting stuff done. But rest assured, most live streams are longer than this, and I appreciate everybody that took the time to drop by. If you're not subscribed already, please consider it. Click on that bell and click on the word all. And I have no idea how long it's going to take me to finish, Chris, because life keeps getting in the way. If I stick with it, my detailed projects tend to average 20 hours ish, but I hate to give an exact number. But I appreciate you dropping by, Chris, and I hope you'll come back when I stay longer. Y'all get some sleep if you're in my average time zone, but I appreciate y'all taking the time to drop by, and I will see you once again. In the meantime, so long.